let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Suppose 30 should be found. He said, I will not do it if I find 30. And he said, indeed, now I've taken it upon myself to speak to the Lord. Suppose 20. So he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 20. Then he said, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. But once more, suppose 10 should be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. So the Lord went his way as soon as he finished speaking with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. And later we discover chapter 19, verse 27, and Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. Then he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and he saw, and behold, the smoke of the land, which went up like the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt. That God said, if there's 10 faithful, I'll spare it. Out of all the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, there was only one found faithful: Lot. That's a culture of unfaithfulness. That's what we're in today, which is why to do right feels wrong. Which is why you're made to feel funny for thinking a certain way, for believing a certain thing, for believing that Jesus Christ is exclusively the only way to God, for having a problem with sin, for having a problem with homosexuality, for having a problem with dirty jokes, for having a problem with the things that are the norm. The fact that it's a norm is an indication that we've developed a culture of unfaithfulness. Bible says in Luke chapter 18 that there's a widow, and that the Bible teaches us that the widow is bombarding is pressuring the unrighteous or the wicked judge. Please, 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 would you provide this for me? Please, would you serve justice? Would you render justice? The Bible says that this wicked judge didn't fear God or man. Finally, the Bible teaches us that, but because of her persistence, that the wicked judge who didn't fear either God or man ended up giving her what it is that she was asking for. And Jesus was saying, look, this is how you ought to pray. And then he says, he caps off that passage and says, he says, but when I return, will I find any faith on the earth? You know what that means? That means that faithfulness is at an all-time low. That was the issue in Noah's case. God said everybody is doing everything, every intention of their own hearts. And so out of the entire earth, there were only 8 found faithful. We live in a time, a culture of unfaithfulness. And the world specializes in continuing to perpetuate a culture of unfaithfulness. And so, how is it that Christ can be popular? How is it that Christ can continue to gain more national attention? How is it that he can show up everywhere you turn? From movies in Hollywood to Urban Outfitters. But there continue to be an increasing culture of unfaithfulness and carnality. The answer is this: people are compartmentalizing. If you draw a pie, to me this is a banging picture, a pie chart in your brain, because I don't have a PowerPoint. If you draw a pie chart in your mind, you know what a pie chart is, right? A little circle, couple slices. Just think of a pie. Don't get hungry, but think of a pie and think of the slices. And in each slice, you basically think, on one slice I put fun, and another slice I put family, and another slice I put finances, and another slice I put my future, and then another slice I put God. That's what it looks like to compartmentalize. It's basically when you put God not at the center and everything be built on him and around him. It's when you put God as a slice sectioned off to the side. Compartmentalizing, unfortunately, is basically When people when people decide that God should be relegated to the realm of the religious. Woo! Oh God, how much time we got? Because I'm about to warm up. It's when people believe that God should be relegated to the realm of the religious. We see the world do this in a number of different ways. For the sake of time, I'll just simply talk about, because I have several types of examples here, but for the sake of time, I'll only cite the examples that are in mainstream popular culture. It's when we think God should have this part of me, but the rest of it belongs to me. So what it ends up becoming is a tithe of my life. I tithe my life to God. It's everything opposite the way God intended. God says, Deuteronomy 6, I want the whole of you engaged, devoted in worship to me. Not just worship like, and I lift your name, a life of worship. He says, I want the whole of you engaged in a lifestyle of worship, as unto me exclusively. We say, giving you all of me is too uncomfortable, so I give you a slice of me, and then the rest of it I'll take care of. And we see that in mainstream popular culture all the time. I was in Best Buy and I picked up a CD that was a tribute to R. Kelly. It was basically like musicians doing about 6 of his songs, right? Something you hear on 97.5. Anybody, y'all listen to that? Okay, man. But basically musicians doing a tribute to him. It was 6 songs on it, and the first song was Sex in the Kitchen. First song. The 6th song was He Saved Me. Did y'all hear that in the balcony? The first song was Sex in the Kitchen. The 6th song was He Saved Me. You know what that is? Compartmentalizing. That's because in his mind, that's justifiable. Because in his mind, God is the part of him that's religious. All things religion, you got that. Everything else, I got that. That's been happening since the garden. Adam wanting to live independently of God. That was the idea. God had crowned him with glory. God had given him dominion over all the fowl of the air, the beast of the field, the fish of the sea. The Bible teaches that God had made him what we call a co-regent, basically where God rules as sovereign king, and then he brings Adam alongside of him to exercise everything, all of his sovereign desires. Yet the Bible teaches us that Adam and Eve weren't content with that. Because Satan's whole thing was God just doesn't want you to be equal to or transcend him. And transcending him or being equal to him would amount to a life of independence from him. And that's been the course we've taken ever since the fall. A life where I give God this piece and then the rest of it I live independently. The Bible, R. Kelly, Sex in the Kitchen, He Saved Me. Beyonce. Oh, I hope y'all can grasp this. Watch this, watch this. I hope y'all can grasp this. This is not to pick on the icons of our day. This is to cite them as examples to show us ourselves. Watch this. Beyonce, she tells people in interviews